Today's guest is Mr. Derr. Joining me now out of Glenburn, it's Larry Derr, coach, AD, superintendent for the Panthers, what have you. A lot of stuff to get into. But first of all, start at step one. Why did you want to pursue a career in education?
I didn't start out my adult life pursuing a career in education, Ben.
Mhm.
Originally, I went into corporate fitness, and at that moment in my life, it wasn't a good fit. So I went into retail, and James Johnson, the football coach at DLB, approached me about coaching junior high football for him. And the love of coaching is actually what got me interested in education. And then just watching my wife, Danan, teach and coach, and it sparked my interest, and I haven't regretted my decision yet.
Because it works pretty much perfectly, right? Working in schools and then coaching right after it.
Yes, I mean that's the perfect schedule. I get to see kids every day in school. I get to coach kids every day in school, and the best part is I have the same schedule as my own kids. You know, not every parent can say they're in the same building as their own kid. They get to coach their kid, and I've been pretty fortunate with that.
What kind of sports experience did you get to have growing up, considering, like you said, you were first thinking about coaching and then you ended up being in education?
In Burlington, I got to experience t-ball and then going into baseball. In high school, I played football. I did track for 1 year, basketball. Uh, Whatever sport was in season was my favorite sport.
It's awesome, man. So you step up from AD to superintendent not too long ago. Tell me a little bit about just like the step up in responsibilities. Like what comes across your desk now that used to not?
I would say the biggest step up would be now you're adding a maintenance staff, a kitchen staff, bus drivers to your workload, and everybody in the school is looking for you as a superintendent for leadership, guidance. Um, just that responsibility, I guess, was an eye opener. The biggest change for me, I guess, is seeing the political side of things. As a principal, you really don't get involved with the politics of North Dakota schools, and now that I'm a superintendent, I get to see there is politics involved with schools, and my goal is to be a big advocate for small school North Dakota.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just everybody kind of explains where they're coming from, I guess, in that political landscape or what?
Yeah, it just seems like sometimes they forget about us little guys out here in the middle of nowhere. They want to focus on the larger school districts, and sometimes the decisions that are made at the top level, are for the larger school districts, and I understand that. But my job as a superintendent in Glenburn is to be an advocate for Glenburn.
What's a plus side of being at a small school?
Just getting to know everybody. I took pride in myself as a principal, knowing every kid's name, pre-K through 12. And when I did my practicum at a larger school, you didn't do that. You knew the kids that were in your classroom, and you really didn't get to know them because you were with them for such a limited amount of time. That's the best part about being at a small school is you're all family.
That's what I kind of brought up with some of my teacher friends as well. Is like I meet so many people in the gig that I have to do where I'm genuine to folks, but like I am just trash at remembering people's names. And sure, they have the lesson plan that they can teach 8 times in a row and have that memorized. But I mean, even in this small number size, I don't even get how these teachers remember all the names. But you guys can do it, huh?
Right. Well, you come up with strategies. I mean, you do little things to remember a kid, whether it's their face or their voice or just little tricks on remembering who a kid is. You associate them with something they like, and yeah, I guess I don't know how I did it
Yeah,
over
teachers.
the years, but you do it.
Yeah, but teachers got to remember and even say it's not like you're like a server and you punch in somebody's tab and you're like ginger guy in the shirt if you're like serving Ben Bar or whatever. So I
Yeah,
mean, I got
right.
ton of credit there, Larry. Even more so. Tell me about what it took to win Region AD of the Year. Real proud moment for everybody, you know.
Oh yeah, I guess if you would ask my friends, they would say I bought the votes for that award. Um, Honestly, I think what helped win that award is early in my career, I got involved with being the District 12 chairperson. I did it 3 times. I won the award 3 times, but I'd have to credit Peggy Person from Lewis and Clark Berthold. She pushed me right away. Hey, Larry, I think you do a good job. You should try it. And I did it, and I don't regret ever doing that. I don't think if she would not have pushed me into being the chairperson, I would have never done it and probably never would have won the award.
At just the fundamental level, it all starts got to be with just your love of coaching. Why do you do it?
I think I have a lot to offer to kids. When I first got into coaching, I wasn't ready to be done with sports. Like I said, I loved whatever sport was in season. And I was a arrogant young coach. I thought coaching was about winning. Now that I've evolved over the years, I've coached baseball, golf, football, basketball. Um, my philosophy has changed, and Coach K really changed my philosophy on it when he was asked a question on how successful he thought a certain player was going to be, and his response to that question was, "Ask me in 10 years." And that really resonated with me and changed my philosophies. And just reading books on John Wooden, coaching is so much more than just X's and O's. I guess we take pride in helping develop kids into productive members of society after high school.
Is there one sport where you're definitely like the most familiar and comfortable with coaching compared to maybe something else where you're basically reading like coaching this sport for dummies while also like just trying to promote the good things that athletes should try to be?
I would say the most comfortable sport right now would be basketball. If you had asked me that 15 years ago, the answer would have been football. But the other day, Thursday, I was up in West Hope. I drove the bus, and Coach Fleur asked me to help with practice, and it was like I'd never coached before. I was lost, running around, and didn't know what I was doing. So my comfort zone is definitely basketball.
It's a lot to take in, though. I mean, after 15 years away, then you just drop into that air raid lane floor offense, running all the drills and stuff. It has to be a shocker.
Oh yeah, it's the game apparently has changed since I coached. We'd line it up and get after it when I was coaching, and now they script everything and everything's planned out to the second, and they're calling different names and they're wearing wristbands. Everybody's got a wristband on, and I couldn't keep up.
At least with like the maroon color scheme that you guys have going on, and it can at least harken back and help you remember like the leather helmets that you had when you were coaching, right?
Oh yeah, we barely even had helmets when I was coaching. I think that's when they first came out.
I heard about a camp where like the Canadian teams come down, they were having an actual game, and they were just like in shorts. So I mean, just full on playing those cold Mounties coming down or whatever. So the Canadians. But anyway, so tell me about just some of the best players that you've had. It could be like basketball since you're the head coach, or just if you want to just shine on some football guys too.
Oh man, I've had good ones here. I guess I'll start with basketball. The best pure shooter I got to coach is Houston Lavacek. His junior year, I think he averaged almost 28 points a game. He scored 50 against Tioga one night. Led us to the region tournament, and I'll never forget that because that's probably the last time I beat Jeremy Feller in our Redeemers, and it was in overtime at the the region qualifier. Houston went on to Williston State. It was very successful there. He was fun. He was fun to coach. He was one of those kids you just let play, and he took games over. It was fun. Dustin Weeks would have to be on that list. He was a big donkey, 6'9". He could move. He had really good feet.
That's what they say about me, big donkey.
Yeah, for other reasons, though, Ben.
Thanks.
No, I'm just joking. I think he could have played college basketball after high school, but he had that offer from Wyoming for football, and I don't blame a kid for trying that. Most recently, Matt Duffner, he just graduated last year. He's at Williston State. He took over games last year and dominated for us at times. But the best overall basketball player I got to coach would have to be Trent Marquardt. He could do so many things well. Trent was one of those kids that as a coach, you're lucky you get one of them in your lifetime of coaching. He not only dominated offensively for me, he dominated defensively. He wasn't scared of anybody on the other team. He was always in attack mode. His motor was 100 miles an hour. And I think if it wasn't for his ankle injuries, he would be the all-time leading scorer in Glenburn right now. We have some good ones coming up, some good young ones coming up who obviously by the end of my career will make that list too. But and for football, I'd have to say Seth Wistoff. He was a dude on the football field. He went on to play football at UND for the Sioux. Um, the one game I'll never forget, one play, we're playing Divide County, and he's got three guys hanging on him. And one of our photographers got a picture of it. His helmet's off, and he's still dragging these kids down the field. It was something pretty special to see.
And I know you're not going to pick favorites or anything like that, but I think some of it has to be about you getting the privilege to both coach and watch your kids play, whether it's like Jalen coming up, whether it's in your sport or another one. You got Cayenne, right? And if I'm missing any of them, I'm sorry. That's just in the Ben Barr era anyway. So do you enjoy coaching the kids, being on the sidelines more when they're your kids, or just being able to kick back and watching them play?
No, I can't kick back and just watch them play. They would probably tell you they'd rather have me watching than coaching. I love watching my kids play and grow, but I'm a coach at heart. I can't sit in the bleachers and just watch. I would consider myself an active participant. I'm too competitive just to be a fan. Football games, I'm walking up and down the sidelines following the football. When Cayenne was playing volleyball, I'd sit by myself at volleyball games so I didn't annoy anybody. That must be why Lane asked me to officiate now, so I don't sit in the stands and yell things at my kids and whatever, coach from up there. But
Precisely.
It's just, at baseball games, if you notice, I sit down the left field line and the outfield, so I'm not driving anybody nuts out there because I can't sit still out there either.
Isn't a left field line a tough position during a night game, though, up in Lansford? You'd be staring into the sun.
Right into the sun, yep.
Precisely.
And it's a dangerous spot for foul balls up there. We got to get Bart to put some netting up there to protect my pickup.
Oh, yeah, man. You ever break? you replace a windshield yet, or what?
I haven't yet, no, but I've seen a couple of them get dinged pretty good up there.
Dang. So when Dunhan was coaching volleyball and Cayenne was along, you were saying like, "Boy, I can't ever kick back." When there was after a game, did you kind of give more tips to Cayenne, or were you asking Dunhan about just what was going on coaching in a situation? Did that ever come to happen?
I would ask Danan what
Yeah.
what she was thinking when she made this decision, and she would give me a great answer because I couldn't coach volleyball. I don't understand it enough. When she told me there's an offense that they run in volleyball, I was just like, "Are you kidding me?" When I taught Fayed, we just hit it back and forth over the net. If it hit the ground, you scored. But
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get into a whole lot of it with Cayenne. I was the dad who just told her I loved watching her play after the game.
So she's a better coach than you are, or no?
Absolutely. Yeah. Did she tell you to ask me that question?
No, I came up with that all on my own, if you could imagine.
You did.
Yeah.
She's definitely the better coach. When I was the AD, I'd go in and watch her coach practice. She started in junior high, finished in varsity. She did a great job focusing on fundamentals and getting the girls to understand the game. She didn't stick to one lineup. She always had girls ready in case somebody got hurt in front of them. Yeah, she is definitely the better coach than I am.
So you always like to post up like Facebook lives of like different Glenburn sports, and a lot of times when like the Muskrats go on the road in Legion Ball, how horrible is your cell phone data bill? Because my phone never works in Glenburn, but yours does, and I can only imagine how terrible that is, or if you have like a Wi-Fi hotspot.
Yeah, we had to go to unlimited data for that one. One of the reasons we started going live is getting back to that earlier question. I'm a terrible parent as a fan, and me going live was one way to get me to shut up, I guess.
Fantastic. So, there's one of the spots obviously is down in Lansford for Renville County Muskrat baseball. You guys have been very good over the years, been able to go to a lot of big tournaments and such. But everybody knows about that. I think when most people don't pick up on if they're not up there at the game is how good the food is. What makes the concessions there the best in the state and a hidden gem in north central North Dakota?
I think it's because the parents do it and they take pride in it, and Each does their own thing. When Danan and I do concessions, we grill burgers and hot dogs, and when somebody else does it, they're doing taco in a bag or sloppy joes or hot ham and cheese. And I think that's what makes it good, is it's not the same person doing it all the time. The menu changes up, and the people in this area, they take pride in stuff like that. It's something great to be a part of.
I was wondering if you were going to include yourself in that or not among the parents. I didn't know if you cooked or not. I could just.
Well, yeah, I love cooking, and the joke is when I'm on the grill, there's going to be a fire, so the fire department better be ready and on call.
Exactly. So I forget what team. There was one year where like it was the Karanka and Kennedy umpiring crew, and the one team didn't show up even to play Hazen, didn't tell anybody. So like the whole tournament got knocked
Oh,
off kilter,
yeah.
and the umpires they didn't get concessions. They went to some restaurant in Lansford that's really good. Which one is that?
Well, now it's called the Backroads Cafe, and it's under new ownership. But yeah, they have great food there too, and they're great sponsors to our baseball program up in Lansford.
Yeah, I still got to get up there when I actually have the time because of you and your 5 o'clock starts and whatnot. So recently, another big event that you were a part of. I know you're a Laker way back, but you're a Panther now. How well were you able to perform in the Laker Scramble recently, given that maybe it's not quite your home turf anymore?
No, it was absolutely terrible. I got to talk to the owners about that. I think they set me up with their pin placements and how far back they had the tee from the green and narrow fairways. Every ball I hit wasn't in the right fairway or it was on the highway. Just no, not good at all.
Everybody hits it out on 2 and 10. That's all right. That's at Wildwood, and you can't go after the owners for the pin placement. That's Justin Loft's fault. You know that, right?
Oh, I guess Loft set me up on that too. He probably had Sonia in on that, trying to get even with a Panther playing down in Lakerland.
Yeah, I think what you could. So I guess you would have been so much better had like the back 6 holes were open, right? I mean,
Absolutely,
yeah, I mean
yeah,
you're like
absolutely.
15 over on the front 12, and you probably would have gone 8 under on the back 6, and then you would have been serviceable, I guess, in the mid 70s.
Oh, I would say, yeah, back in the 90s when the back nine was open, hole 18, I just dominated that hole. I think I averaged like a 2 or a 3.
Did you have any better luck in the silent auction that day or the raffles?
No, I had no luck at all. My name didn't get called one time.
Yeah, well, that's all right, man. I mean, it all comes back to haunt you. I mean, I don't. I think you were a little too tight that day. I didn't. Your swing needed some loose juice. Plenty of other groups had it. So
Yeah, and my wallet was probably a little tight that day too.
been there, done that. So well, one other final thing that I researched here I was looking through the extensive Larry Derr bios that are available on the internet is
Oh gosh.
when you do put on the stripes, like Lane Floor definitely wanted you to do, especially in the basketball sphere. You look like a big summer guy. You rock the shorts when you're refing. How much of an advocate are you for refs being able to do that? Maybe even at a regional tournament, Region AD of the year.
Yeah, I have to wear shorts when I ref. I can't run in pants. Well, I can't run in shorts either, but it's just not very comfortable for me. I'm a shorts guy. As far as as far as the other guys wearing shorts, you've seen them ref. I don't know if I want to see some of those guys wearing shorts out there as they're refing. I think we'd lose fan base if that was the case.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
yeah.
no, I would not be opposed to it. I think the big argument you hear, and I've heard it too, is you don't look very professional. Professional, you don't look the part, and I totally understand that. But
What difference does the pants make in that regard then? We all look unprofessional.
well, exactly, exactly.
So like you would be in favor of the shorts to an extent where like you are kind of concerned about prevalent spider veins or what?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if I got to pick which referees got to wear the shorts, I'd be okay with that. You don't want to put like a Brian Offworth out there in a pair of shorts.
Yeah, well, some of them could use hats.
They all could, yeah. My shooters complain about that a lot, that the lights got in their eyes, and I never believed them until I saw it at the district tournament.
More so for the fans. I mean, the lights get on the top of their heads.
Yeah, exactly.
Unbelievable. Well, I mean, some things have a place in the game, obviously, and maybe other things don't, huh, Larry?
Yeah, we better leave that one alone, I would say.
Okay, perfect. No better way to get you out on than something like that. Larry, this has been great, man. I know I won't make you pick between DLB and Glenborough, but I just really appreciate your time talking about each step of the way with me, man. Thanks.
Hey, no problem. Anytime, Ben. It's always a pleasure talking to you.